so that we will be able to appreciate. I'm going to introduce them to us. And I will ask them to come and say hi. There is a time that will come for them also to be able to give us comments, and that will be in the afternoon. Right now, we just want to introduce and be able to have them greet us. So I will start, first of all, with one of our jury here is Dr. Jed Abuga. And Dr. Jed Abuga is coming to us from Maseno University. Dr. Jed is a lecturer in mathematics, data scientist, and also she is passionate about applied mathematics. She has a PhD in applied mathematics, where she focused on computational fluid dynamics. She also holds a master's in data science and artificial intelligence, and her research interests include mathematical modeling, simulation, and applications in science and engineering. Dr. Abuga also actively promotes STEM education, especially among young women, contributes to efforts to make scientists, or rather scientific careers, more accessible and inclusive. And she is one of the founders. Now listen to this. She is one of the founders of Baraton's Innovation Week. Actually, this is the second annual Baraton Innovation and Entrepreneurship Week. And last year, we had the first. And she was privileged to be a founder of the first Baraton's Annual Innovation Week. Shall we welcome Dr. Jed to say hi?
Good morning. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jed. The next here, all right. The next one we have is Dr. Becky Nancy Alo. And Dr. Becky is coming to us from the University of Eldoret. The University of Eldoret. She is a lecturer and also head of intellectual property management. So this is someone who is well endowed with matters IP, intellectual property. Remember yesterday we had a session on intellectual property. Now, Dr. Becky is a L'Oreal UNESCO Fellow within the Sub-Saharan Africa region. So when you talk about UNESCO Fellowship, she is one of her kind who actually is a fellow south of the Sahara and north of the Limpopo. We want to welcome Dr. Becky to say jambo.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony, for the warm welcome and introduction. I'm happy to be here at Baraton University. This is my second time. I was here last year for the same event. And I'm glad that I'm here with you once again. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daktari. And to our final jury is a very important person in the whole of Africa. Don't look at his physical stature. He is very gigantic in terms of importance in Africa. Now we are talking of none other than Sir Louis Wajeya. Sir Louis Wajeya is an entrepreneur and innovations leader with over a decade of experience founding and also leading ventures in technology, agriculture, finance, and the creative industries. He is the innovations program manager at a very important organization in the whole of Africa known as Jacob's Ladder Africa. Louis has also helped leadership roles in companies he founded, including Intellisoft Plus. We have got Beat Shamba, and also we have Majani Foods. He serves on the advisory board of Kenya's Presidential Digital Talent Program under the Ministry of ICT, contributing to national ICT frameworks. He holds qualifications in computer science and agribusiness management. Sir Louis has been honored in the Order of the Grand Warrior, that is OGW, by the President of the Republic of Kenya for his contributions to the national building. Shall we welcome Sir Louis to say hi?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Morning. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much to Daktari and the entire fraternity at University of Baraton for inviting me and inviting us and my organization. I think as I was listening to the introductions, I just noted that it seems like I'm the only one who's not a doctor here. So hopefully by the time we are done, I'd also be a doctor, you know? So I'm really delighted to be among my fellow jurists. But let me just say something very quickly. About, say, 16 or so years ago, I was seated where you guys are seated. 16 or so years ago. That there was a forum like this, and I was given an opportunity, like many of you have been given, to come and listen. And that day marked a significant shift or difference for me and the journey that I would walk. So it's to say it's not a small thing that you're here. Don't mind that you might seemingly look like you're alone or you're a few of you, because many changes you see in society don't start with the majority. It starts with an individual. Somebody has to step up. So I hope that you're among those people who are counting yourselves as those who want to step up and bring about the change that we so badly desire in our lives or our community or our nation or our continent at large. So for that reason, I'm excited to be here with you, because you remind me of myself 16 or so years ago, when I just had a dream or just had an idea, and I did not have a clue how far it will take me. And so I believe you have the same opportunity, and I'm delighted to have the chance to come and share with you a bit of my own experiences. But hopefully, a couple of years later, you'll be in the same place, sharing the same with other fellow young people. That's my only word for now, but hopefully we'll get to talk more as the day unfolds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Louis. Now, we want to give some guidelines some guidelines to those of us who will be making the pitches. And the pitches are going to be made within a time that is 5 minutes. And so after the 5 minutes are over, you may be added 2 more minutes. And so this is how it's going to be, that you are going to hear the first bell. When the first bell rings, that means you start. And when the second bell rings again, that means your 5 minutes are done. When the third bell rings, that means that your 2 more minutes are done, and so you want to stop. And then we shall have 5 minutes that we will be able to hear some comments from the jury, after which we will have the next group of presenters come to stage. So I want to wish all the presenters success as you are going to be presenting, knowing very well that now we are riding on the theme of the day, which is Blueprints for Tomorrow, Advancing Learning, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship through Design Thinking and Cognitive Mastery. Thank you very much. Now we shall ask the jury to take positions so that we will start our pitches. Thank you.
Okay, let's appreciate the jury as they take their seats. So to begin our final lineup of the final pitches, we have the Department of Agriculture and Biological Sciences. Their project focuses on the fight against antimicrobial resistance by harnessing enzyme biotics against bacterial infections. May the presenters take the stage. From the Department of Agriculture and Biological Sciences.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Christine Veronica Awino from the Department of Biological Sciences and Agriculture. And I'd like to introduce my members, Tamara Wamoro and Peter Ojil Gumba. Yes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Peter Ojil Gumba from the Department of Biological Sciences, and I'm here to present about Enzybiotics, a project that uses a synthetic biology approach to address antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance, okay. So we aim to design and recombine thermostable genes encoding enzymes that will be able to fight microorganisms that are resistant to drug. So antimicrobial resistance is becoming a challenge in today's world of healthcare, and according to statistics, antimicrobial resistance was attributed to causing 1.14 million deaths in 2021, and the numbers are estimated to 39 million deaths by the year 2050. So data from the European Union shows that 63.5% of antimicrobial resistant pathogens are associated with healthcare settings. This places the hospital as a reservoir of these antimicrobial resistant pathogens. So, as a reservoir of these antimicrobial resistant pathogens, in healthcare settings, antimicrobial resistance is perpetuated by the presence of ubiquitous microorganisms. Since microorganisms are found everywhere, even in the hospital, they are able to interact. And in one way in which they interact is through the formation of complex structures called biofilms. So, in a layman's language, you can say that biofilms are the cause that the hospital is becoming a reservoir for antimicrobial resistant pathogens. So, in the hospital, the biofilms are found attached to medical devices such as catheters, ventilators, where they cause hospital-acquired infections. Hospital-acquired infections have a mortality rate of 70%, and this is attributed to the antimicrobial resistance of the pathogens that cause them. So, our solution is targeting the biofilms. Our solution is targeting the biofilms using a cocktail of enzymes that is designed through a synthetic biology approach, and to create a cocktail that can either be used in lining medical devices, can either be used as detergents in hospital settings, or can also be used as drugs. So, to do that, we are going to use a bioinformatics method and combine it with other methods. First, you're going to isolate the genes that are responsible, that code for enzymes that lyse the cell walls of bacteria, and a gene that codes for the enzyme that will lyse the cell wall of fungi. And then you're going to combine all of this to make a gene circuit and introduce it to a microbial chassis. This will enable us to mass produce the enzyme and purify it. So as you can see. So at the end of it all, after isolation and purification of the enzyme, we'll have a highly stable enzyme that is able to be used, that is highly customizable, can be used as detergents, can be made into a thin film to line the medical devices to prevent them from forming biofilms, or can also be used as aerosols or inhalants for localized treatments. So in the past, other methods have been tried to combat biofilms in hospitals, and some of them include the use of antibiotics, the use of peptides, but the use of antibiotics is failing because most of these microorganisms that originate from biofilms are resistant to antibiotics. The use of peptides has been shown to have immunogenic consequences, but our method is going to introduce a novel method of combating this, the use of enzymes that are highly specific to degrading biofilms.
So our product is esteemed to be a competitive one because it stands out in the market. It is also innovative and provides a unique solution, and it has edge over other competitors. Then we strategize to have these products grow through collaborations with other partners. We also plan to capitalize on emerging global markets, and also we ensure that this product is going to be tailored according to the need of the user. So that is our traction. In the first quarter, we're trying to launch the product. Then we're going to test it in the lab and also finally, in the third quarter, we are going to partner with others and also campaign it so that it can be taken up by the global market. So our budget will include the in silico design and the wet lab. That is estimated to be $16,000, and that is it. So we also have our team members. Those are those who are working on this enzyme biotics. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the presenters. Now we shall hear some comments from the jury.
Okay, thank you very much, Team Enzyme Biotics. That's a beautiful name. And thank you for the presentation. This is an area which is close to my heart because I'm a microbiologist myself, and the problem of antimicrobial resistance is very huge. So you are tackling an area which is very interesting and which can save lives in the society. But what I didn't get quite well when you are presenting was maybe the source of these enzymes, where you are getting the enzymes, or the process of extraction and purification. You took a lot of time on the introduction, so we didn't hear much else about your product, the real product that you are pitching. So maybe that's an area that you can improve on. But what I also get is that this is an idea. This is an idea which is being pitched or proposed for development. So you have got room for improvement. You have got room to check out the methods of extraction and the viability of this enzyme. So I think that is what I can say to them.
Mike, is it working now? Okay. Well done, Peter and team. How did it feel?
Sorry, could you please repeat?
I just want to hear from Peter. How did it feel?
How did it feel?
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was quite nervous.
Okay. That's the reason why I'm asking you. One is I want to encourage you that just from what I listened, the pitch could tell me that you're very knowledgeable about that subject. Okay? Now, because you're knowledgeable, I want you to, when you're on the stage, always remember you are giving us value. So when you step up on that stage, don't be afraid. Okay? Own it, because you're the one who knows that subject more than we do. At least maybe together with Dr. Becky and a few others, but you're a lot more knowledgeable about that subject than a majority of people. So don't be afraid to speak boldly about your idea, okay? That's the number one thing I just want to leave to encourage you. Number two is, I didn't get to follow the slide as much. It had a lot of text, so I'd encourage you to keep it very simple, okay? I know you spent, like Dr. Becky said, you spent quite a bit of time trying to explain the problem, and I think there's opportunity there for you to refine it a bit more. So just try, see ways you can keep it simple. Usually I'd say just get rid of a lot of the text. If you can do one sentence that says this is what the problem is, highlight that for us, then you can follow up with educating whoever else is more interested to know more about what you're doing. So that's number two. And then number three is it didn't come out clearly who you're targeting as your customer. That was not very strong. So I'd encourage you to think a bit more about that. Is it the hospitals? Who exactly are you targeting to address this antimicrobial issue? And bring that out a lot more strongly so that you show us the potential of it. And then the last one is there are some things that are a bit too early for your project right now. So when you talk about growth of the market and things like that, that's a bit too mature for your stage now. I'd rather you focus on telling us how will you test this? How will you pilot it? Do you understand? So if you're going to pitch, tell us the problem, talk about the solution, which you did very well, and then show us how are you going to test it, how are you going to pilot it, or how have you piloted it, and how do you want to scale that pilot, okay? I wish you guys well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. What wasn't clear to me was how you're going to get the enzymes. I think maybe if you can tell us in a layman's language, this is what we do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Make it very clear, because as you've been told, not all of us are from the bio department. So when you're talking about so many things, try and explain it like you would to a 2-year-old. How would you explain to a 4-year-old so that they understand? Me, that's what I really wanted to understand. How do you get the enzymes?
Yes. Can you respond?
Say that again?
Can you respond to the questions?
I think we are just taking the comments, and then we will encourage the presenters to be able to go and refine. Because after this, we are going to have other places that we'll be going to. So maybe your subsequent presentations elsewhere, you need to have it fine-tuned. Thank you very much. We will have you exit the stage so that we can have the next presenters. Shall we clap for them?
Thank you, Team Tamara. The next team to present from the Department of Foods, Nutrition and Dietetics with the project Robusto. Please take the stage.
The microphone is off. Kindly switch it on.
What we're looking at today is a statistics done by the World Health Organization between the year 1990 to 2022, indicating a drastic rise in the cases of hypertension and diabetes from 200 million to 830 million. This was caused by rapidly rising cases in low and middle income countries as compared to the higher income countries. A healthy diet, maintaining a healthy body weight, and use of herbal therapy has remained to be the main approach of folk medicine. This is why we introduced to you Robusto, a product that is an improvement of what we currently have in the market. So for Robusto, we intend to target the households that have low income and people who are health conscious. For the market, we are targeting to sell our product at a very affordable rate and to health conscious consumers, and to ensure that our demand will be high due to the prices that we'll be selling our products for. For the products, production cost over 250 grams will cost 250 shillings. Retail price, 250 grams, will cost 250 shillings, and the whole price will be 200 shillings at 250 grams. Our go-to-market strategy is the customer acquisition, where we'll use social media and referrals. For the distribution, our product will be sold at our local stores, kiosks, and the supermarket within the school and outside the school. Our competition currently, we are trying to compare with Ketepa and Melvin's, and we are trying to see the affordability rate of both of them. We feel like our product is going to be much affordable to the community, hence we'll try and help so many households. Our ask is that we are offering 25% equity stake in exchange of $2 million in funding the herbal wellness market. The funds will be used to expand our production capacity, accelerate our research and development to enter new markets. Our current milestones, we are still starting locally. We intend to expand on to the national level, attracting the supermarkets such as Carrefour and Naivas. Then we will export regionally. And our team, we have me and Faith and the others. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Robusto. We will hear comments from the jury.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful presentation. I want to appreciate the fact that you started well. And when you start well, you catch attention. You catch attention of the listeners. And usually it's good to start strong and give some statistics like you did, because then we get to know the magnitude of the problem that you are trying to solve. And you went ahead, and what I wanted to hear, but I didn't quite hear, or it didn't come out well, was the product. You have a name for it, you have I'd call it a trade name, but I wanted to hear about this product. What is it? Because all I heard was the value that it's going to bring forth, or what is called the value proposition. But really, you didn't define your product. When I glanced there, I saw a tomato. Was that a tomato? So I was wondering, is it coming from, are you developing this from tomatoes? Because you didn't define. So maybe in future, you may want to define your product before you go into, not really something big, but just to tell how you are making this product, or what is in this product. Yep.
Well done. Let me just start by, I didn't get the team's full names. I had Faith, but there were two. Is it? How many are you? I can only see. How many are you? 4. Okay. What was the presenter's name?
My name is Lynn Nyabwa.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think maybe I missed the first part of the introduction, but I got your names towards the end, and I only had Faith. So just something about introducing yourself. Remember, it is your idea. It's your story, right? So don't be afraid to do that when you get on stage. Just be very bold about it. But number 2 is, it wasn't very clear what, I think you did mention about the problem. You said, yes, hypertension, I had that. I had diabetes, but I wasn't clear what exactly are you solving about those 2. So you could take time to just refine that and be very clear. What are you highlighting is the problem with those 2 diseases that you want to solve? And then now back to Dr. Becky's point about the solution. Those 2 are normally the anchor points for any pitch. What's the problem? What is the solution? And for who are you solving this problem? Your customer or the market, right? So make sure those 3 things come out very strongly anytime you're pitching. Okay?
Yeah, I want to echo what they've said. We just had Robusta, and I don't know, you're comparing Robusta to Ketepa and Melvin. So is this a type of tea that people will be drinking? Because for me, I know Ketepa and Melvin's is tea or herbal drink or something like that. I don't know if that's what you were trying to tell us.
Yes, thank you very much, our presenters. I hope that these comments are going to be helpful to us so that you are noting them down. Maybe to the jury, yesterday we had the intellectual property, training, and so maybe some people are a bit cagey about giving all the details because of some other reasons of maybe someone taking up your idea. So I don't know if that was the reason why you did not disclose everything, but at least you should try to tell us something, but not the whole, disclosure. Thank you very much. Shall we clap for them? Thank you. We shall have the next.
Okay, our next presentation comes from the Department of Nursing with the project Vadavu. The presenters to take the stage at this moment. Kindly welcome them as they share the idea. The Department of Nursing with project Vadavu. You can clap for them as they take the stage.
This one I sit out, conflict of interest.
Good morning. There is a pandemic that has been going on for ages and on which not enough spotlight has been given, and that is food wastage. Statistically, 13% of food is lost between the farm and retail, and a lot more is wasted after that, some intentionally, some unintentionally. In sub-Saharan Africa, this hits us hardest because then we have to contend with morbidity and mortality that comes from undernutrition and malnutrition, which is a concern for us who are the custodians of health as nurses. So in the spirit of collaboration, the nursing students, together with the IT department, came up with a product, the Smart Freshness Sensor, also known as Project Vadavu. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Alan Cheriot, software engineering student from the Department of Information System and Computing. We as a team hear from us more about Smart Freshness Sensor System. Thank you.
Thank you. I am Rotich Collins Kipchumba from the Department of Nursing. Okay, the problem we're trying to address here is spoilage and wastage, economic losses associated with food wastage, and health risks such that the foodborne illnesses. Our solution is the Vadavu Smart Freshness Detection System, an IoT-based device that monitors food freshness and enables dynamic pricing. We've come up with an interface that is able to tell you the real-time freshness of the fruits and vegetables for you to be able to mitigate the prices. Now that is the development in progress. We have the prototype here. Our invention is so unique such that it's the only invention in the market that enables fresh to price linkage in the market. It is the most user-friendly dashboard when it comes to IoT in relation with the freshness to price linkage, inventory linkage, and also the IT linkage with the transit sector when it comes to agricultural and price mitigation. It is a low IT cost solution and it's sustainability. Our target markets are the farmers, the vendors, supermarkets, households, warehouses, and transits. Our revenue model will come from sales of the device. Our device is, the development product is, this is the prototype we have right now as we're going to develop it. We have a dashboard service we'll be selling and the data analytics insight. As scalability, we are able to scale more to the warehouses, cold storage facilities, and supply chains transit. Our project aligns with the UN SDG number 2, 3, 9, 12, and 13. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health, innovation, responsible consumption, and climate action. Our go-to-market strategy is the product demonstration to the markets and restaurants, schools, and universities, partnership with NGOs and food safety boards. Our distribution channels will be through the agrovets, electronics, online shops, and direct sales. In the 3 years of our projection, we'll be able to scale to a minimum of 80,000 US dollars. Our prototype budget goes for as low as 20 US dollars to develop a prototype. Our market opportunity is so high, such that we have a 40 billion market opportunity for the vast food wastage market, which grows at 6% per annum. Our team consists of I myself, Rotich Collins Kipchumba, the founder, Alan Cheriot, the software engineer, and Nora Ndonga, the project manager. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the team, Project Vadavu. Now, this project here has been assessed by only 2 of the jury because Dr. Jed has expressed a conflict of interest issue because one of the presenters is actually a very close friend of hers. Therefore, we shall have only comments from 2 of the jury. Welcome, the jury.
Okay, thank you very much to the team for the presentation. I think you have a very beautiful solution to a pressing problem in the society, which is to reduce food wastage. I think it's a very huge problem, especially for Africa, or let me say Kenya in our context. And it's also beautiful that you've shown as a prototype, so it means that there is something happening in the background. And I wish you the best as you proceed with the idea development. And maybe what you should have told us is if you've made any traction, like because you mentioned that some of your clients would be the farmers, the vendors, the supermarkets, and you're already developing the prototype. So I wanted to know maybe if I can be allowed, if you've already tested this out with some of your clients. Maybe even if it's 1 or 2 people, even in your home, your neighborhood or something like that, to see if it's going to work, and because that can also help you in refining your idea.
Yeah, we've tested the device. We have tested the device using our neighbors. Okay, our we come the same place with Alan. We have connected the interface, the web app itself. There, we have tested the device. We've connected the device itself to the interface, the web app. We have the next slide, please. The previous slide. Previous. Yeah, as you can see, we have used the prototype, put it in fruits, vegetables, and tested it for us to get the values. We've tested every feature, the marketing feature, the pricing feature, the humidity, and the temperature. We've done the testing at large, as you can see from the pictures. That is the progress development, and it's still under development. Thank you.
Okay. I think mine first is to my fellow jury, Dr. Jane. Thank you. That's a clear display of integrity that I think a lot of young people need to learn. By the way, just one big area that you can distinguish yourself is just by being very honest and exercising integrity like she has. So take that as a lesson, very important feedback, beyond just the one that we're going to share with you about your pitch. Number 2 is, I really like the team collaboration. The way you all took time to introduce one another. Keep it up, well done. I'd love to encourage you to keep doing that more, right? I think one thing, I'm familiar with this space quite a bit, so I'd actually invite you that if you'd want to have a more detailed conversation, we can talk after this. I'd be happy to share specific insights, because I think you're onto something. But beyond that is, there's room for you to sharpen market you're targeting, because I think it was a bit too broad in terms of the categories you are highlighting. So we can see how to then maybe focus the market and be very specific on which part of that value chain from harvest to retail are you looking to focus on, because it's very broad. You know, harvest all the way to retail is a very broad value chain. Yeah. So how do we narrow down and focus? So that's one thing I'd highlight. I think maybe the final one would be what was the other point I was making? You did very well to show us the prototype and to show us you're actually doing something about it. And then you were specific about how much you're looking for. And it was not some out of this world figure. You are very practical in this is the amount I'm asking. So that's a point I'd want to also encourage other innovators. Be very specific about your ask. And sometimes your ask could likely be met by somebody in the room. So think about when you're pitching, who are you pitching to? So that you are communicating to them and see is there anybody who might connect you with potential partners. The last thing is the slides about SDG and go to market. I didn't think they were relevant. So just back to this point about who you're pitching to. It might be relevant for another audience, but you don't have to necessarily display it if it's not going to be useful to the audience you're speaking to. Okay? I wish you guys well.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much to the presenters. We want to give them a round of applause, shall we? Thank you very much. Let us have the next presenters.
The next presenters are from the library with Guardians of Memory. Please take the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you. I am Alexander Mulinga, and my colleague is Helen Magut. Let me give her the mic to greet us.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Helen Magut, and our project title is Guardians of Memory. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our project is Guardians of Memory, as she has said, and it is actually an idea. We don't have a prototype. It is an idea, and the introduction is that we actually want to come up with a digital archive that will be able to document indigenous information or indigenous knowledge. Particularly, we want to begin with Nandi County. We have realized that there is so many gaps when it comes to indigenous knowledge. And therefore, we want to come up with a digital archive that can actually preserve the cultural heritage, and that will be able to, we will be able to document for accessibility so that knowledge can be shared, indigenous knowledge can be shared with the future generations, and we can also empower the community by owning their own, to own their own narratives. And therefore, this will also enhance cultural resilience. Now, our objective is to develop a digital archive for enabling access, use, and preservation of indigenous knowledge. The problem is modernization, that is one. Modernization has caused the indigenous knowledge to erode, and therefore that is one of the problems that has made indigenous knowledge to really diminish. That means that due to the technological tools that we are using currently, we are not able actually to maintain our culture or heritage. And then we also have poor documentation. Our oral traditions are lost through generations, and we also have inaccessible archives. We have limited access, especially to the community. They have limited access to the available archives that are available. And therefore, this idea will be able to make the community access this information. We also have generational gaps. Information is lost between generations. We also have fragmented archives that is hard to find information from. You will bear with me that if we want today to get information about the Nanti people, we will be struggling to get the real information, especially the indigenous knowledge, how they used to pass information, how they used the tools that they used, and the artifacts that they used those days. Our solution is to come up with a digital archive, to establish a community-driven digital archive to preserve indigenous knowledge. And we also plan to integrate it with the curriculum, especially with the birth of the CBC. We can incorporate this indigenous knowledge into existing educational curriculum. And then we identify and organize indigenous knowledge by developing initiatives to identify, select, organize, and disseminate fragmented indigenous knowledge. And then we also do it through knowledge sharing, facilitating knowledge sharing opportunities between older and young generation, and finally, partnerships. Our target market is educators, scholars in universities, colleges, and schools. And we also target the researchers conducting cultural, historical, and anthropological studies. We also target libraries and museums. And we are also targeting policymakers, cultural practitioners, and the general public. Our business model, we expect to spend in technology development, collection of content, and grant and cultural funding from government and non-governmental agencies, licensing cultural indigenous knowledge to publishers, media, or museums. The impact of this project is expanding educational access via virtual information, indigenous knowledge systems nationwide. And then we also have another impact that is community connections, that is fostering national community knowledge sharing and collaboration. And finally, we have knowledge preservation, digitally preserving cultural heritage for future generations. That is the roadmap, project planning, engage community stakeholders, design multimedia repository, develop multilingual interface, integrate article labels for cultural sensitivity, test and collect feedback, launch and maintain the archive. The team is I myself, Alex Mulinge, and Helen Magut. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The presenters, guardians of memory. We shall have comments from the jury. Please welcome the jury.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation. Guardians of memory. That was beautiful. I think it's a beautiful idea that you are coming up with. And as you started your presentation, I was wondering about the existing archives that are already there for this particular function or similar purposes. But as you proceeded, you mentioned some of the limitations with these archives which are already existing. For example, accessibility. So that is one thing that stood out, because there is a gap that you are trying to fill, or there is something which you have seen that needs to be improved through the application that you are coming up with. So for me, I think it's an idea that can be developed. It is viable, But one thing you need to think about as you go about this is the issue of intellectual property, because indigenous knowledge is actually one of the forms of intellectual properties for communities. So when you're going to harvest this information and archive it somewhere and make it accessible to others, you need to think around the issues of intellectual property when it comes to indigenous knowledge. It's a big issue right now. If you can just check it out when you have your own time. Indigenous knowledge as a form of intellectual property for communities. So you need to think about how you'll work around that as you go about this. Thank you.
Well done. I couldn't agree more. First, very nice name. But two is, yes, that's something to really look at or look into very deeply about the ownership of the archives and the intellectual property around it. So that's an capitalize on that emerging opportunity.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very interesting. I'm really interested in how you are going to integrate this into the curriculum, because you said one of the things that you want to do is curriculum integration. But when I look at the curriculum, I see no gap where you can integrate this indigenous knowledge into the curriculum, because as I think as we are growing up, more of the indigenous knowledge gets lost. And I don't know if this is still done in primary schools. When you join schools in the rural areas, they would teach you in the mother tongue. But I don't know how that is being done still, or if it's still being done to date. So my question is, how do you integrate that indigenous knowledge into the curriculum as we have it now? Or would it mean that now the curriculum has to be rewritten or reshaped so that it can fit into that?
I think there was a question there. Maybe quickly, maybe if you can respond to that. Others were suggestions on how you can better. You are sitting on a gold mine. That is the catchphrase.
Maybe if I can respond on a question before we go on how we can integrate it. I think currently when you look at the curriculum, we are going back to CBC. And when you look at the curriculum, basically our cultures are left out. So if we can get these ideas on how things were done, and we bring the information so that the educators can use it as a resource to teach those who don't have that knowledge, I think it will make sense.
All right, there is a follow-up question here.
I'm trying to imagine that in schools we have different, we have different tribes, right? So when you're talking about CBC, what indigenous knowledge are you going to pass, and to which, I don't know if you're following my drift. Yeah, maybe that's something to look at.
Okay, I think that is something that you could consider to fine-tune going forward. So shall we clap for them? Thank you very much. We shall have the next presenters.
Next up is the Department of Information Systems and Computing. They will be presenting Shite Get It. Can the group take the stage? Department of Information Systems and Computing. They'll be followed by Sharia Link from the Department of Finance and Accounting.
Good morning. We will be presenting Shite Get It. I'm Tiberius Omboga, the software engineering student.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning once again. My name is Apollo Ngito. I'm a graduate of this wonderful university, and also I'm a startup founder. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rolling Sopora, network engineering student.
So let me take you through this first. So Share It, Get It, we are empowering farmers and vendors through digital connection for reliable and steady supply of leafy vegetables. So an introduction, there is a growing shortage of vegetables in the market, especially traditional leafy vegetables that are in high demand due to their nutritional and health benefits. Often customers in restaurants or vendors, mama mboga, struggle to source for these vegetables. So statement of problem is this shortage is largely a result of challenges in the supply chain. Vendors frequently have to wait for deliveries from middlemen who are often men or travel directly to farmers, which increase costs, waste time, and limits efficiency. So the market access gap, farmers struggle to find reliable buyers for their fresh products. Supply uncertainty, vendors face unpredictable supply chain and inflated middle costs. Post-harvest losses, food waste persists, while urban markets experience shortages. So our target users, we have small-scale leafy vegetable farmers and vendors. That's example of mama mboga. So the product features, we have actually the solution we have is a mobile first Android app with the Google Maps and API and SMS USSD access for features. This is for low-level tech phones. So we will have a real-time product listing, location-based filtering. So that's the conceptual diagram of our app. That's the farmer side and the vendor side, and the application of Share It, Get It with our logistics partner. Those are some photos of the prototype front end, if you can see them there. And Apollo will take you through the market opportunity. Thank you.
So allow me to take you quickly through the market opportunity. We have 70% of
issues, but I think it's viable, it's doable. Thank you.
Good job, gentlemen. Just going. Figure out to navigate through all the challenges. So that's very good demonstration of that. I think the first thing would be, this is a very fairly competitive space. I think there are a number of players in this space. So you need to demonstrate, you're trying to solve for supply chain inefficiencies, but I think one of the major challenges you have to figure out to navigate is logistics. That's going to be a big one. And then, because it's also a low margin business, you have to be very things like that. I think there's opportunities there. So just think about such things. I'll be happy to share more offline, but you're onto something for sure. But just be a bit more critical in addressing those areas that others who have.
My concern has been asked already. Yeah, when you talk about an app that connects farmers to, the people who want to sell the veggies, there are already apps that are already there. So
is because you talked about vegetables, it might be a lot more helpful or beneficial for you to identify a specific vegetable value chain, right? With Trigger Foods, for example, they started with banana. Do you want to go the direction of horticultural crops like onions or tomatoes? So pick one value chain, and then depending on whichever it is, you might also cold chain. Lazima, you maintain a certain temperature for them as you're ferrying them from farm to market. So be also strategic in which value chain you pick. That doesn't attract a lot more.
Shall we clap for them? Let us have the next presenters.
Our next presenters are from the Department of Finance.
Hello everyone, we are University pursuing economic and statistic. My fellow team members are Victor Maina. To change that, with our mobile app, citizens can file case safely from their phones, upload digital evidence. This is how our app works. We wanted to show you a live demonstration of how the app works. In Kenya, there are almost 55 million, 30 million users use smartphone, and 200 million regional in East Africa. So we want to expand from Kenya, judiciary, real-time monitoring to improve performance, centralized case tracking and management, automated scheduling and notification platform. It's a guided form complaint form where we have case categories and we support uploading of evidence. There is anonymous upload. Our revenue business model, we intend to sell it as software as a service, licensing MVP. In 2 months, full integration. In 18 to 24 months, the AI analytics, which will showcase case patterns. Can I? Okay.
But now we can get comments from the jury. Welcome, jury.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. That then you can consider doing that as you refine your idea or develop it further. So,
Meet you. I'd start by saying very, very bold of you, to dare to say you're solving for corruption, It's very daring and it's very where you will introduce transparency to this whole process of seeking justice, right?
Yes, this transparency, in a way, you can track your case progress from when you submit the case to the case officers.
Incentivize officials, whether it's police, to be able to respond to the cries of the public. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So maybe introducing.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. My comment is on the panic button, because you're saying that to make sure that people are not accidentally pressing the panic button, there's a confirmation button. But this is something that you can see if you can collaborate with them, because they've already done it. So if you can collaborate with them and put in your now work for digital judicial service.
Okay, next on stage will be from the Department of Theology and Religious Studies. Will be presenting on online food delivery application.
All protocol observed. My name is Kenneth Kipkesio. I'm a student here studying theology. Local county like the Nandi and the Uasin Gishu. And concerning the same, we considered a problem of unemployment. Looking for job. You can see even some others in page 8, I think page 3, the third page. You can see somebody trying to sell some groceries, some food. And we went up, people have their Android phones, they have their laptops, any device, any media that has several items, like the merchants, being the admin, the platform organized in such a manner that there is somebody organizing. The admin will register register that we have in our midis, in our regions. Then those registered restaurants, a client can identify a food and can choose which and track the items to where the client had actually requested the food from. Food delivery cut across it of lack of food. Everyone was locked down, and you can see when we should have had maybe a group of people just transporting food, some of the few people could have been allowed maybe to transport food and whatever. This could have cut across the death that could have happened. But maybe for future, let me go through, the restaurants, some of the details. What do we need in the restaurant? The restaurant, or maybe the rest food that are not existing in that restaurant. Finally, maybe let me, why some of the challenges that maybe we can encounter in this and precautions, maybe in food. Maybe a delivery boy can decide to tamper with food and poison. And we say that all the food that are going to be transported from gene and savity, portion and control, variety and availability. We have also the question why a customer can say, is it true that when ordered food are packed and sealed, It prevents some with timber evidence sealed, and maybe when the client see the food has been timbered, you also may not be able to pay and make, because all the food will be paid after it is delivered, and see the amount of food that is still there. How can this be successfully? We and my team from the Apurio company, Infolab, in India, and I want to actually congratulate my friend who has actually assisted me to still come up with this project in Kenya.
Is up. I think we shall take comments from the jury. Please welcome the jury.
I will make this quick. I just have 2 comments for you. One is that I know that there are already similar platforms. Tell us is how different this one will be, or how different yours is from the ones which are already existing. So that one did not come out, or you've already come up with a platform?
It is an idea, and also we have already come up with the platform, and I think you can see a prototype that shows that already the program can still work, but we have not installed here in Kenya. But also
can manage our time. Thank you very much.
Mic check. Okay. A life lesson is practice to listen. Don't be in a hurry to respond. Take the time to first listen, understand where are the important traits for any entrepreneur. Just being able to listen, because you take in a lot more when you listen than when you're trying to listen to respond. So listen to understand and not necessarily listen to respond. Okay? That's on the restaurants instead. Then tell us what is the problem with the restaurants and which type of restaurants. Is it the fast food restaurants? Is it the ones that are hotels? Which type of restaurant and what is their pain point? Highlight it in that space. You know, Jumia Foods, Glovo, there are many. So how are you going to compete against them? It's, you know, they're not in Nandi Hills, yes, or Uasin Gishu, but they might come there. It's a matter of time.
Presenter, online food delivery application. Thank you. Shall we clap for him?
Group is from the Department of Technology and Applied Sciences for the Jack stand. Please take the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. With this one, the other one, the previous one, which we usually use, it is slow in operation. When you use it in physical, it is training to work without a fluid. The solution we came up with is a dual side drive, screw jack stand, faster, safer, more efficient. On the market, the target users, the target users who I'm targeting to use are for garage, roadsides to lift up, and sometimes it's used in a workshop for accident cars to push.
Thank you very much. Jack stand. Shall we have
hydraulic fluid? They have like a screw, so you just rotate. You talk about it being easy, like what you're saying about yours. So maybe you look at what is so.
So thank you very much. We want to insist to the presenters, in the interest of time, kindly note, so that maybe you could see the jury after this, so that we will have also time.
The ones which are already existing. So with that, I think it is very unique. But one thing which I wanted to mention, which you need to check.
Just the fact that you've been able to get to that point and you can show us something you've engineered on your own. I want to encourage you. We need more people like you to step up, to build. Keep going. All the best.
Wow, thank you very much for that very nice presentation with also a prototype Shall we clap for them?
And greet you all. Good afternoon. My name is Declan Richard from the Department of Public Health, and I'm working with the ACT is because as a country we've been battling with outbreaks of vaccine preventable diseases, whereby we've been hearing about outbreaks of. This project is going to solve that problem and bridge the gap which is existing.
In order to solve the gap, we are going to use silicone bracelets. And also we will be sending SMS reminders 3 days to their next appointment, their immunization coverage for universal health care.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Odongo John. I'm going to take you through the business model to have 1.5 million shilling. So under the competition, we've been having like some agencies like Embry doing the storage of bodies in Africa and worldwide. So this is the team. We have Ms. Asena Nyantika being our immediate supervisor.
We shall get comments from the jury.
Yes, thank you so much. I am really impressed on.
I just had questions actually, maybe two that I could share with you. You don't have to answer now, you can think a bit about it. This is if you don't have a response. But I just wondered how much research have you done to find out if the government already has its own way of tracking vaccinations? If you haven't, I would encourage you to take some time to do that. Just find out what efforts has the government put in place to track their own vaccination. I think that was the first question. The second question was more around, could it be that you're, okay, I was just curious why you're keen on collecting location data? Is there other ways you could still
something like that. So think about it as you develop your product. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we clap for them? All right, we shall have the next group of
The next group is from the Department of Mathematics, Chemistry and Physics, telling us about EcoRetai. Please take the stage.
sorry, for this group, again, for the interest of conflict of interest, I think Dr. Jade,
Eco-Retail, turning rubber waste into sustainable solution. My name is Waste Disposal. These are not only isolated incidents, they are daily realities threatening our health, our environment, and our future. The problem, could you tell what the current issue is? Useless rubber products and waste collectors grant an environmental funding and carbon credit. The value proposition actually, it's affordable, sustainable, and in health, mobile mash houses for urban farming from the rubber, vertical gardens for limited spaces, sports and fitness for affordable rubber running tracks, gym, flooring, sports and cramps for the sports field, safe playground rubber for surface and actually to shock absorb. Construction and industry by customizing cabroth mats, road walk products. Our go-to-market strategy. Actually, at this point, we are at the market research. We are foreseen to go to the MVP testing, whereby rubber waste being our major aspect, being our quality, which is quite good, and sustainability according to our research, and the metrics of which we are poverty, zero hunger, quality education, decent work and economic, industry, innovation, infrastructure, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, the strides, building and pilot of the MVP, because at this stage we are the research source of partners from stakeholders, building production pipeline, installation and production. Why does this matter? Economic opportunity, food security, social equality, and global supporters. Through partnership, funding for mass production, industry experts to advise us on some technical. Meet our team, I, Meolo Ofola, having Faith Rotich from chemistry and biology, and Kasai Larry as our architect, engineer, and materials expert. Thank you. From problem to product, rubber reimagine. Eco-Retail.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Eco-Retail. Want to get comments from the jury? After which we are going to have a
Kenya. So it's good to see that you are keeping up in the innovation space, and I hope you inspire more students to do that. And what I want...
Thank you. I think the first thing I'll start by saying is, it felt like you are rushing through because you wanted to just finish. So there's a point where now you are upping, you are now, let me just finish. So
that's, then the other issue was the cost to buy the synthetic one. That's how it developed towards
I hear you. Tell us that story. Tell us the story of, one day you woke up and you thought we can make something valuable from rubber, and therefore this is the steps you took to turn it into something useful, right? And just walk us through that journey and keep it very simple. It wasn't clear, you didn't bring it out, but there's an opportunity there. So just look at if you can explore that segment a bit more, and then focus on, just focus, because I think you showed so many products, but see if you can.
At this point, we want to say thank you to Eco-Retail. That was a wonderful presentation. Please, you may take your seats. Now, we want to recognize, we are going to have her address us. Shall we welcome her? Yes, thank you very much. So, we shall continue for them to address us. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. So, shall we have the next present?
Falling on my ear, the sun of your disclosure.
and the communities we live in on a daily basis. Now, I was checking the calendar today and I noticed it's the 2nd of October, October being a Mental Health Awareness Month. Last week, we lost a student at Toronto University, whereby students or anyone can easily access it, since we find that counseling services are very expensive. Not everyone can afford it. And not everyone is that free to talk to someone regarding their issue due to security issues. Now, on the CalmBot part, we find, we have the interfaces actually. So we have happy colors. We have happy colors that each and every person likes to associate with yellow, since yellow is a happy color. So within the bot, we find that it gives people the preferences of choosing the kind of colors they want to associate with inside the app. Now, the app can support, you can offer each and every. So, So I was actually getting an interference from the light. Sorry for that. So within the app, we find that each and every person can triggers the kind of things that will trigger you to not to be mentally well. Now, when it identifies the triggers, it will be notifying you to be avoiding the triggers. That's what makes it unique from other AI-based that is going to be featured with NGOs, institutions and other things to make it to be funded fully. After it has been funded, it will be rolled out and it will be used fully with full capabilities. Another reason also why the users to access the counseling services even without them being on internet connectivity, because we know the other AI models, you have to be connected for you to use it. You'll be having counseling services fully. Now, we all know we have the data protection right. The data protection rights doesn't allow us to be accessing the user data. So when you feel like you want to talk maybe to a physical human being, it can connect you to the nearest counselor who is within your environment. We are linking Red Cross within. If you want to talk to a physical human being and not the chatbot, you can be able to access it. I'll allow Mumba to finish up.
Okay, I will finish up with. Part of our market will be universities, maybe, and colleges. We can integrate it with the counseling department, and it's there. So we are targeting about 1.1 billion people, and we expect an income of like I've said, universities, colleges, and institutions, corporate institutions or other institutions that will integrate it to their maybe welfare groups and all the other.
Very nice slides. I can tell you put in the work. So that's very encouraging, right? There are a number of cases in court globally, actually, as we speak right now, people who committed suicide because of AI. So I don't know to what extent you've looked into it some time, research, and find out what's the cause of it. A lot of it is hallucinations and biases that the technology hasn't catered to. So if you can figure a way to address that, perhaps there's a lot. But I also ask myself, do they know they have mental health challenges? And if they don't, then how do you help them diagnose that? And then the last one is, not everybody cares. In fact, majority of people don't care much about features. They care about the benefits. How is it going to benefit me? So this is just to you and to a lot of innovators. I see this a lot.
Clip by Mr. Matthew Rain, whose son, Rain, committed suicide. And the reason is the chatbot AI kept mentioning him, that prompted him to kill himself. So again, the question is, how are we going to ensure that this doesn't happen with the men and consider very seriously? Because I know AI, we train the data. So the question is, who trained this one to, promote suicide and encourage this young man to take his life?
I hope that our presenters on stage have taken note of the same. In the interest of time, I think we will move to the next presenters because, all right. Okay.
I've been liaising with the counseling and the counseling department. I've been going and visiting them regularly. Now, I'm working on it to give only positive goes within the boat that is outside the scope of counseling. It's just counseling. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we clap for them? Thank you. Later, research to commercialization.
Chicken. Please take the stage.
Presenting on Para Hypro dual purpose chicken developed by Parasai company. Why the chicken vis-a-vis the red meat from beef? Problem is that the commercial broiler chicken breed, this is attributed to the genetic makeup of the breed. It also has a weaker immune system and is a so the solution is that we've developed a locally adapted high performance terminal breed, broiler feed in this case, which will enhance productivity, reduce the cost to get this hybrid. We got a high disease resistant, low meat producing bird with low growth rate, crossed it with a high meat producer, fast growth rate, high disease resistant breed, and in the name of Para Hypro. Business model, farmers, conducting training programs for farmers on the F1 breed management. The selling strategy will start from the western rich consumers or birds, that is the broilers, and then we shall move to other parts of the country in 2 years, and then the Eastern Africa and Africa region. And sorry, I needed to introduce my friend, sorry, Mr. Ayemba Sande is one of these teammates. The call for action is that we $87,740 US. The project funding, the Parasai plans to raise funds among us, the company directors. There is room to partner with us in this funding project to benefit both in terms of MOU for mutual benefit. It makes a difference from what we have seen since morning and the start. Here is a live bird developed genetically to give us meat almost equal.
Thank you very much. Bara Hybro dual purpose chicken. We want to welcome jury's comments. Welcome, jury.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation about from what I gather, it's a hybrid chicken, and we know for a fact that there are already hybrid chicken in the market, a lot of them, and the answer from your research, how your hybrid chicken how they compare with the rest of what is in the market. You can capitalize on that in the market. And secondly, that is what you can use to protect your IP.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, but first to commend you for the broiler chickens are expensive to rear, and you told us why. You talked about genetics, you talked about a weak immune system. I think the one thing that I miss to hear is how more immune to diseases and things like that. Okay?
Should I reply to that? We have the breed for your interest. That is important. We have it in the farm, yeah, alive. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the presentation. My interest is in when you're talking about high resistance to diseases, maybe you can mention these are the things we did and then concluded that it is highly resistant to diseases. Of course, when you talk about high yield meat, you can see by weighing the chicken or the hen or wherever it is that you want to sell. But when it talks about high resistance to diseases, if you mention these are the tests that we did and then we realize it is highly resistant to diseases, maybe that would help. Thank you so much.
Okay.
The Bara Hybro dual purpose chicken. Shall we clap for them? And even as we clap, one thing is that we already have a which could weigh up to 8 kilograms. Up to 8 kilograms. So thank you very much. We are talking about the external category. Please go ahead.
Okay, from the external university pitches, we have Kabarak University presenting AI first aid assist.
Hello, good afternoon. So I'm going to start with a little survey. So if you see the person sitting next to you, if that person suddenly collapses and you know what to do, raise your hand up. Okay, for the people in the building, that's like 10%, 15% of the people in the building. Okay, my name is Hulda Keari, a clinical medicine student in Kabarak IFA. I'm the founder, and I do work with a technical team that is headed by Nathan Kimutai, and is not here at the moment, and also in collaboration with Kabarak University, whereby I model. So, a personal story. I'm a medical student, and I'm the only medical student in our family. And it does have the advantages and its implications. And every time there is a little mishap at home, someone is bleeding, someone has collapsed, an asthma attack, my mom takes her phone, and any mishap, any emergency that has to be done around home. And that is where the idea of creating an AI first aid assistant app came in. So how does IFA work? We can refer. So in slide number 5, you can see the dashboard of the app. We have a big red button whereby immediately an emergency or an accident, and it's a conversational AI. It asks you, what's your emergency? And you get to explain, here a child has fallen down the stairs and is not moving. I don't know if it's section. It offers you the major accidents that are related to first aid. And then it has illustrations and an AI that can take you through the theory part. We also have an automated one whereby an AI gets to teaches you about the various first aid. In that, you can ask the AI, can you teach you, and get to ask questions, and you get feedback. And then it has a multimodal part whereby you can decide to talk to the AI. If you're not in a position to talk, you can chat with the AI. The first aid procedure. So that's about the first aid. At the moment, you are training the AI model and fact checking with if the input is correct. And then in terms of the revenue, we are targeting partnerships with non-governmental organizations, the Red Cross, the St. John's, and the Ministry of Health. We also focus on the business-to-business collaborations with schools and organizations. And we also have a bit for the aligned with first aid, and it's in accordance with our missions and values as AIFA. Yeah, and the primary market for the AIFA app, we are targeting the theory part in the library. You can find it in Kikuyu and the Kalenjin, and you are working on the rest. Want to promote the advocacy of the first aid literature among the people in the urban areas, and then the scalability of it to international level. And then for our project, the future, we'll want to integrate it in the risk first aid manual on what to do. Thank you, and yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that very informative presentation from
name. But it's a wonderful presentation that you have made. And I like the fact that you started with a question and then to this question, and we want to hear what your story is about. So it also makes the audience to relate with the product that you have. So that was very commendable of you. And also, because you have a prototype, I would have liked to see how it works, but at least we've seen the screenshots, but also how it works. So maybe my question or my comment with the few people who can give you feedback on how to, maybe you can get more ideas on what to include or what to add. So, thank you.
Good job, Hilda. Well done. I love the collaboration with good, strong point. Not many innovators bring that out, just to show us that we have what it takes to actually go after this dream. So that's a good job. I think the first place for me was just a concern. The focus would be for the person who's seeking for the first aid. I would imagine if I'm trying to get instructions on this side, well, I also have an emergency I need to attend to here, just possibly that positioning this more as a training platform, so that you impact skills that people can apply in real scenarios, just the same way you asked us to raise hands. If I knew there was this app and I can take a course, and knowing that I can handle the situation. So maybe just something you can think about in terms of the business model, as opposed to trying to get it to deal with real time issues. How do you probably be more, would it be able to respond in the same way, or is there something unique about yours?
All right, thank you very much. I think we are to go. Shall we clap for her? Yeah, we will want to usher in the next presenter.
Okay, the next presenter. Koitalel Samoei University with the BioKenya project. Koitalel Samoei University, BioKenya project. Welcome.
My name is Bruno Ogama, a staff at Koitalel Samoei University with background in environment and finance. I'm a project titled BioKenya Project, which is funded by the French Embassy and involves a consortium of other institutions. We have Embry University, from the French fraternity. The whole idea about the project was to manage waste by use of agro waste from sugar production, rice milling, and municipal waste. Agro waste into biochar through a process called pyrolysis, and using the black soldier fly to do organic fertilizer, consumption of organic waste. Studies have shown that totality of the waste, up to 60%, is organic. And the idea is to use the waste into something that is more usable. And in this case, like you have seen, the bagasse from the sugarcane factories. So this study has been going on for the last 1 year. We have done quite a number of field trial items. That is the biochar, and the insect composite was represented here, and the insect composite was represented here, where you have huge piles of organic waste that just goes to be dumped, and yet this is items that can actually be used to make things out of value. The same with institutions, like for example Baraton. I know you have a student mess. I don't know whether you use the material for pigs or anything, but it can actually be used more valuable to make organic fertilizer. So the idea is that we are expecting to form cooperatives out of this, so that they can actually uptake this. So in summary, out of the demand of the fertilizer in Kenya, the annual demand is 800 metric tons of fertilizer, but the requirement is 2.4 billion tons. So there's a gap of 1.6 billion tons that is not utilized, and out of this, only 3% is from organic fertilizer. So this offers a very big opportunity for converting waste into value, and more specifically, organic fertilizer. As you may be aware, especially in the horticulture sector, you find that due to the traceability requirement, our products cannot go to the European market. And that has actually diminished the revenue that you can actually get from the horticulture sector, and even, for example, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. BioKenya project. We shall have comments from the jury. Welcome, jury.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. I really don't have much to say. Like you said yourself, this is not new, yet it is very viable. So it is worthwhile to explore this. That's the least I can say. And of course, it has commercial value and can create employment, especially for the youth. So it is very commendable. It's also from the point of view of waste management. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It is a very interesting project. I wanted to find out, how do you turn, maybe it's something that you can tell me later on, not necessarily now, how the whatever organic material is turned to the fertilizers and everything. There was what is it called? Fruit fly, not fruit fly. So black soldier fly use of turning organic waste into fertilizer. I don't know if that's what you're using, or have you heard of that, and are you planning to use that at any one point? Thank you so much.
Okay, if I may just answer that. You find that the black soldier fly is very ferocious in terms of consuming waste, organic waste. And if you remember in the biology, the life cycle of an insect, you have the egg, larva, pupa, adult. So at the larvae stage, this is where this animal has the feeding segment, and it consumes any organic fertilizer. Any organic waste. And the droppings is what is now the organic fertilizer. Yeah. And just for another maybe positive remark, is that the normal composting takes up to 6 months, the normal traditional composting. But the black soldier fly larvae, it reduces this to 1 month. So you're able to save on time.
I don't know if you're familiar with a company called Safi Organics. One of the things that I think, like you said, perhaps you're in a space that a number of other people are doing. It's not really novel, but you talked about the scientific data. So I was curious what exactly about scientific data and how you're collecting it that helps you differentiate. But I think one of the other areas you could explore, which I didn't hear a lot or at all, is on the carbon markets and generating carbon credits, because that can actually unlock a huge income stream for you. So if you can crack something along those lines, Safi Organics has done it. So the way they are leveraging it is to reduce the cost of the biochar itself. And so it's a flywheel in that they reduce the cost, farmers buy more, and they can earn more carbon credits, sell more, keep on like that. So you can figure out how to be unique again in your own way on the business model, but just explore the carbon markets and see what opportunities it presents for you.
All right. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation from Koitalel Samoei University. It is a very, very commercially, viable kind of a project, and we are very keen to start talks with you on collaborations. So maybe after this we are going to meet and talk about the same. Shall we clap for them?
Thank you.
I know our sugar levels are now really dwindling fast, and so we want just to take one last one, and then we shall be able to break for lunch, after which we will again come back for the closing ceremony. So, shall we have the next presenter?
The last presentation for today is alumni category, showing us recycling vehicle parts into our building materials. Please take the stage.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lauren Kasai. I'm working on a project, how to